Have you ever woken up in the morning with a heavy heart, burdened by the never-ending demands of life? The list of tasks that seems to stretch on forever, the constant pressure to perform, to succeed, to be more, to do more, only for you to find that no matter how much you push, the results never quite match the effort. Each day feels like you're sprinting after something just out of reach, only to realize that the faster you run, the further away it seems. Sound familiar? We live in a world that glorifies hustle. We're told that success, peace, and happiness are the rewards of relentless striving. Push harder, work longer, fight for your dreams, the world screams. But deep down you begin to wonder, is this really the path to fulfillment? The more you chase, the more exhausted and disconnected you feel. And in those quiet moments, when the noise of the world dies down, you ask yourself, is there another way? What if I told you that everything you've been desperately striving for, everything you desire, is already on its way to you? What if I told you that the very key to unlocking true success, peace, and happiness isn't found in striving, but in letting go? What if the breakthrough you've been waiting for isn't in pushing harder, but in surrendering? What if the magic of life lies not in effort, but in ease, trust, and flow? In this journey we're about to embark on, we're going to explore profound, life-changing wisdom drawn from Buddhism. Wisdom that can transform the way you approach life. Imagine for a moment that your dreams aren't out of reach. Imagine that everything you've hoped for is already in motion, being gently orchestrated by the universe. All it takes from you is trust. The universe isn't waiting for you to push harder. It's waiting for you to release the need to control, to step into the flow, and allow everything you desire to come to you naturally. This isn't a message of passivity or resignation. Far from it. It's an invitation to reclaim your power, not by forcing, but by releasing, not by controlling, but by trusting. You hold the key to a life of ease, abundance, and inner peace, but the door only opens when you learn to trust the process and let go of your need to control every detail. In the next few moments, we'll dive deep into how letting go and trusting the universe can effortlessly bring everything you desire into your life. Let go of the struggle, step into the flow, and allow the beauty of surrender to work its magic. The universe is ready to deliver what you've been waiting for. You just need to open your hands and let it in. The universe responds to your vibration, not your desperation. Have you ever heard of the law of attraction? It's a concept that's been circulating for years, a powerful idea that attracts. It's a mantra for many. Work hard, push yourself, and the universe will eventually reward your hustle. After all, isn't that what we're taught? From a young age, the more you strive, the more you achieve. It's the narrative that keeps us moving, grinding and chasing after something just out of reach. But what if I told you that the universe isn't responding to your hard work, your effort, or your frantic hustle? What if instead it's responding to something much deeper, something far more subtle, yet far more powerful, your vibration? Yes, the energy you emit with every thought, every feeling, and every belief you hold. Imagine that the universe isn't paying attention to how hard you're trying. Instead, it's tuned into the frequency you're broadcasting. It's listening to the message of your vibration. So let's break this down for a moment. Imagine life as a radio station. You know the drill. You turn the dial to your favorite station, the one you want to hear, and you adjust it until the sound comes through loud and clear. Life works the same way. You're constantly tuning yourself, whether you realize it or not, to a specific frequency. Your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs are the dial. When you're calm, confident, and trusting, you're sending out a signal of abundance. You're aligning yourself with the frequency of what you want, whether it's love, success, or peace. It's like tuning into a station that's already playing the music you've been waiting for. But what about when you're anxious, overwhelmed, or full of doubt? The frequency you emit in those moments is very different. It's the sound of frustration, fear, and scarcity. You're broadcasting a message of lack. And here's the hard truth. The universe doesn't hear your desperation, it hears the lack. When you're caught in a state of frantic energy, trying to make something happen, you're not tuning into the frequency of abundance. You're broadcasting the signal of need, of wanting, of not having enough. It's like trying to tune into a rock station while the dial is set to static. No matter how hard you try to push the frequency, you'll never get the music you want, because the dial is off. You're operating on the wrong frequency, and the universe can't bring you the results you're hoping for because you're out of alignment with the energy you want to attract. Now let's stop for a moment and reflect on this. Close your eyes. Take a slow, deep breath. Now notice how your body feels. Is there tension anywhere? Maybe around your shoulders, your chest, or your jaw. Perhaps you're feeling anxious, restless, or overwhelmed. As you breathe deeply, let the tension melt away with every exhale. Imagine with each breath that you are shifting your energy. You are gently tuning yourself to a higher frequency, one of calm, trust, and abundance. You're not forcing it. You're simply allowing yourself to vibrate at a different level. What would it feel like to stop chasing after everything and start trusting the process? Instead, imagine what could happen if you stopped fighting, stopped forcing things to happen, and instead just allowed life to unfold. Imagine you finally released the need to control every outcome, every detail. Imagine you started to align your energy with the very thing you've been seeking. Picture this. Your dreams, your desires, they aren't as far out of reach as they seem. They're already on their way. All it takes is for you to tune into the right frequency. If you're broadcasting the signal of need, the universe can only match that energy by sending more needing your way. But when you shift your energy to one of calmness, confidence, and trust, the universe starts to bring opportunities, outcomes, and experiences that align with that vibration. It's as if you've adjusted the dial to the perfect frequency, and suddenly everything starts to click into place. You see, the universe doesn't respond to desperation or frantic energy. It responds to alignment. And alignment is all about tuning in to the right vibration. When you're calm, you're sending out a signal that says, I trust that what is meant for me will come in its perfect time. When you trust, you open the door to receive. Now I want to take this a little deeper. Take another deep breath. As you exhale, imagine yourself completely relaxed, grounded in the present moment. Picture yourself surrounded by a warm golden light. This is your energy, your vibration, your frequency. As you breathe, that light expands, growing stronger, brighter. This is the energy of abundance, trust, and flow. Feel the calmness wash over you. Let go of any doubts, any fears, or anxieties. With every breath, release the tension in your body. Feel the tight grip you have on life loosen. You're no longer holding on to that desperate need to control. Instead, you're aligned with peace. And with that peace, Opportunities will start flowing your way. Imagine what your life would look like if you stopped pushing and simply trusted the process. What would happen if you let go of the anxiety about when things would happen or how they would unfold? What if you could simply be present, knowing that what you desire is already on its way? The moment you stop chasing and start trusting, the universe can start bringing you the right opportunities, the right people, and the right experiences to manifest your dreams. It's a powerful shift, isn't it? Moving from a state of frantic effort to one of serene trust. You're no longer fighting against the flow of life. You're moving with it. And when you're aligned with the flow of life, you're no longer forcing things. You're simply allowing them to unfold. Let's dive even deeper. What would it feel like to fully embrace this truth? What if you could wake up every morning knowing that your vibration, your energy is already aligned with everything you've been working toward? What if you understood that the universe is always listening, always responding to your frequency, that it's not about chasing and forcing, but about aligning and trusting? The secret to life's flow isn't in striving, it's in surrendering. It's in letting go of the need to control and simply tuning into the energy of what you want. It's understanding that when you align yourself with abundance, peace, and trust, everything you desire will flow effortlessly toward you. Let's take a moment to think about a time in your life when you felt like everything was flowing smoothly. Maybe it was a time when you weren't stressing about the outcome and things just seemed to come to you. Perhaps it was a job offer that arrived out of nowhere, a relationship that developed naturally, or an opportunity that seemed to fall into place effortlessly. Now think about how you felt in those moments. Chances are you weren't desperate. You weren't forcing it. You were simply allowing yourself to be in alignment with what you wanted. That's the power of vibration. The universe doesn't respond to your desperation. It responds to your vibration. When you align your energy with abundance, peace, and trust, the universe starts bringing everything you desire to you effortlessly. But it all begins with you. It begins with you choosing to let go of the control and trust that the universe will bring your dreams to fruition in its own time. So close your eyes once more, take a deep breath, and as you exhale, remind yourself, I am aligned with my desires. I trust that everything I need is already on its way to me. You are already vibrating at the perfect frequency. Trust that the universe is always listening, always responding. And when you stop chasing, it will start giving. 2, you only block what you try to control. In the intricate dance of life, there's a simple yet profound truth we often overlook. The more we try to control, the more we block the very things we desire. This concept is deeply embedded in Buddhist teachings, where it is said that control is not the key to peace or success, but rather a subtle force that keeps us stuck in resistance, unable to flow with life's natural rhythms. Life is a river that moves and shifts in ways beyond our comprehension. And when we try to grasp every twist, every turn, when we attempt to steer the current with all our might, we only disrupt the flow, creating turbulence and resistance where there should be smooth, effortless movement. Picture this for a moment. You're standing on the edge of a river, watching the water flow freely. The current moves with ease, winding around rocks, slipping under branches, and flowing through the landscape unhindered and unstoppable. Now imagine standing at the river's edge, your arms outstretched, trying to grab every drop, every movement of the current. What happens? You disturb the natural flow, causing chaos and frustration. Instead of enjoying the beauty of the river, you find yourself caught up in a never-ending struggle to control it. Life works in much the same way. Think about a time in your life when you tried to control something, maybe a relationship, your career, or even your own self-image. You clung tightly to the idea of how it should be, forcing it to fit a vision that felt safe, predictable. You pushed, pulled, and tried to shape it into what you thought was best. Yet the more you grasped, the less joy you seemed to experience. The more effort you exerted, the less space there was for true happiness to emerge. You began to feel overwhelmed, exhausted, and disconnected, as if life was moving around you instead of through you. The truth is, when you try to control, you create resistance. It's like trying to hold a tightly wound rope. At first it seems manageable, but the longer you hold on, the more your hand stiffens. You lose the ability to feel or enjoy what you're holding on to. The tighter you grip, the more tension you create, and the less flexible you become. Life isn't meant to be controlled. It's meant to be experienced, to be lived in its entirety with all of its surprises and unpredictability. Imagine for a moment you're holding a rope in your hand. Your fingers are tightly wrapped around it. At first it feels secure, like you've got everything in control. But as time goes on, your hand begins to hurt. It becomes stiff, unable to move or let go. No matter how hard you hold on, the rope becomes uncomfortable. And the harder you try to control it, the more you strain your muscles. Eventually, the rope slips from your grip, and you're left exhausted, frustrated, and still longing for control. This is the paradox we often face in life. The more we try to manage, manipulate, and shape our circumstances to fit our desires, the more we find ourselves disconnected from the joy and peace we're desperately seeking. The tighter we hold on, the more we lose touch with the natural flow of life, the flow that could bring us everything we truly want, but only when we stop trying to control it. In Buddhism, this concept is referred to as non-attachment. Letting go doesn't mean inaction. It doesn't mean giving up on your goals or dreams. It means releasing your attachment to specific outcomes and trusting that the universe has a plan that is far greater than anything you could have envisioned. Non-attachment is not about passivity. It's about acting with purpose but without obsessing over the result. It's about releasing the grip, allowing life to unfold naturally, and recognizing that you don't need to control every moment for things to work out. Let's pause for a moment and reflect on this. Take a deep breath. Inhale, hold it for a second, and now exhale slowly, feeling the tension begin to dissolve from your body. Close your eyes for a moment and ask yourself, what am I holding on to right now in my life with all my strength? Is it a situation, a person, an expectation? Feel the weight of that grasp. Now imagine you could release it just for a moment. Let go. Let your grip soften, and with each breath, feel yourself releasing the need to control. Trust that the universe is already working on your behalf. Now think of life not as a tightly wound rope, but as a river, one that flows with ease, undisturbed by the rocks and branches it encounters. When you let go of your need to control every outcome, you stop fighting the natural current of life. You become a part of it, moving with the flow, trusting that no matter what obstacles appear in your path, you will be carried forward. Letting go is not about doing nothing. It's about shifting your energy from force to flow. It's about taking action with intention, but without the desperation that comes with needing to control every detail. When you let go, you create space for new opportunities, new connections, and new experiences to come into your life effortlessly. Let me share the story of Sarah, a young professional who spent years climbing the corporate ladder. She worked tirelessly, believing that success would come if she just pushed harder. She sacrificed personal relationships, her health, and even her passions, convinced that all of her hard work would eventually pay off. But no matter how much she struggled, every new milestone seemed to bring more roadblocks, more frustration. After hitting several walls, Sarah began to realize that the harder she worked, the more disconnected she felt. She felt like she was running in circles, achieving goals, but always feeling empty, drained, and uncertain. One day she had a breakthrough. Instead of pushing harder, she decided to let go. She stopped obsessing over every detail, stopped trying to control the outcome of every situation. She began to trust that the right opportunities would come when the time was right, and she started to focus on her well-being, her relationships, and her own growth. To her surprise, things began to shift. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach started coming to her naturally. She wasn't forcing anything. She wasn't chasing after success. Instead, she was living in alignment with her own truth, and the universe responded by bringing her exactly what she needed. She realized that by surrendering control, she wasn't giving up. She was making space for peace, success, and joy to flow into her life without resistance. This lesson isn't just for Sarah. It's for all of us. The more we try to control, the more we block what we truly want. The universe isn't here to follow our rigid plans. It's here to guide us toward our highest good. But in order to receive that guidance, we must let go. We must stop fighting against the current and trust that life is unfolding exactly as it should. Letting go doesn't mean you stop taking action. It means you stop obsessing over how things should unfold. You release your attachment to a specific outcome and allow the universe to surprise you with something even greater than you could have planned for yourself. The beauty of letting go is that you open yourself to new possibilities, to opportunities that you may never have imagined, but that are already on their way to you. Reflect again for a moment. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and ask yourself, what would happen if I let go? What if I stopped trying to control the outcome and simply trusted that life is unfolding for me, not against me? Trust that the universe knows the way. Trust that your path is already laid out, and the more you let go, the more you'll see how beautifully everything falls into place. Letting go isn't weakness, it's strength. Strength in knowing that you don't need to control every aspect of life to live fully. It's the strength to trust that what you desire is already coming to you. By releasing the need to control you, open up to the flow of life, to the flow of miracles, to the flow of everything that is meant for you. So as you go about your day, remember this: the tighter you hold on, the less you feel, and the more resistance you create. Let go. Let life flow. Trust that the universe has a plan far greater than anything you could have imagined. When you let go, you stop blocking the very things you want to receive. Trust that life is already unfolding beautifully, and by surrendering control, you open the door to receive everything you've been waiting for. let go, and live in the flow. 3. Silence speaks louder than noise. We live in a world that never seems to stop. A world saturated with noise, both external and internal. It's a constant hum, an unyielding rush of sound that demands our attention. The blaring horns on the streets, the endless ping of notifications on your phone, the swirl of voices and chatter around you at work or at home. There's always something happening, always. Something to hear, always something to do. And amidst all this noise, it's easy to lose yourself, isn't it? But what if I told you that in the midst of all this noise, the answers you seek are not in the chaos, but in the silence? The profound clarity, the deep insights that can change your life are waiting for you in the stillness that lies beneath the noise. I know this might sound counterintuitive. In a world that celebrates speed, productivity, and constant action, silence often feels like a luxury we can't afford, or worse, something to be avoided. But true peace and wisdom cannot be found in the rush of life. They are found when we learn to embrace the quiet moments when we can listen deeply to ourselves and to the universe. Let's take a moment to reflect. Imagine for a second trying to observe the surface of a lake. At first, you see nothing but ripples, waves crashing against each other, distorting the reflection. The sky is obscured. It's hard to see clearly, isn't it? The chaos of the surface makes it impossible to perceive the depth beneath. Now imagine that same lake, still and calm. The surface is undisturbed, the water reflecting the sky above with perfect clarity. Beneath the surface, you can see everything: the fish swimming, the plants rooted at the bottom, the stones lining the shore. In that stillness, you can see clearly. The chaos of the surface no longer distorts the view. This stillness in the lake is the same stillness you need in your life. The chaos of your thoughts, your worries, your endless tasks. These are the waves on the surface of your mind, blocking your ability to see the deeper truths that lie beneath. When your mind is constantly churning, overwhelmed by noise and distractions, clarity eludes you. But when you embrace silence, when you allow the waves of your thoughts to settle you, open yourself up to true wisdom. True clarity arises in stillness. So why do we struggle so much to embrace silence? Because silence in a noisy world can feel uncomfortable. Our minds are so conditioned to be in constant motion, thinking, planning, reacting, that sitting with silence can feel like an invasion. It's almost as if we are afraid of what we might discover in that space. But the truth is, in the quiet we are not losing something, we are gaining everything. It is in silence that we reconnect with ourselves. It is in silence that we tap into a deeper part of us, our intuition, our inner guidance, the very essence of our being. When we stop reacting to life's chaos, we create space for life to come to us in its most authentic form. We stop being a slave to our thoughts, our emotions, and the external demands, and instead we begin responding with intention. Let's try something together. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Hold it for a moment, and then exhale slowly. Allow your breath to become your anchor in this moment. As you breathe, begin to notice what's happening around you. The sounds, the sensations. But now notice something else, the space between the sounds. The moments when the noise dies down, when you can hear the silence that exists in between. Now bring your awareness inward. Feel your body, the weight of your hands, the rise and fall of your chest with each breath. How does your body feel right now? Are there any areas of tension? Any places where you're holding on to stress? Take a moment to just be aware of them. Let the breath wash over those areas, allowing the tension to dissolve with every exhale. You may feel a sense of stillness growing within you, peace perhaps, or just a deep sense of awareness. This silence is the gateway to reconnecting with your true self. When you make space for silence, you make space for your inner wisdom to emerge. You stop reacting to the chaos around you, and you start responding to the deeper truths within you. Let me ask you a question. When was the last time you truly sat in silence without distraction, without noise, just being with yourself? I'm not talking about being alone in a room while your mind races in 100 directions. I'm talking about sitting in stillness without the need to do anything. Just existing, breathing, and listening. The kind of silence that isn't empty but full of potential, full of clarity. In our daily lives, we're often bombarded by distractions, whether it's the constant ping of our phones, the pressure to perform, or the noise of our own racing thoughts. But this noise prevents us from hearing what truly matters. It clouds our judgment, distorts our perception, and takes us away from our inner peace. But when we embrace silence, we come back to ourselves. We create a space where we can hear the whispers of the universe guiding us, nudging us toward the right path. Silence is not just the absence of noise, it's the presence of clarity. It's the fertile ground where wisdom grows. Let me share a story that illustrates this point. Imagine a person who is constantly caught up in the whirlwind of life. The noise, the expectations, the daily hustle. They're busy, always running, always trying to keep up. Their mind is cluttered with worries and doubts, and every decision feels like it's weighed down by anxiety. They can't see the bigger picture because they're too focused on the details, too consumed by the noise. Now imagine that same person taking a step back, a step into silence. They sit in a quiet space, close their eyes, and breathe deeply. For the first time, they stop running, they stop fighting, they stop striving. And in that moment of stillness, they see something clearly. They see that the solution to their problem was never in the struggle, but in the surrender. The answer was always there, just waiting to be seen in the silence. When we stop filling every moment with noise, when we make space for stillness, we can see the truth that has been right in front of us all along. Silence gives us the opportunity to hear what we need to hear. But let's be real. Silence can be uncomfortable. Our minds can be loud, especially when we are used to filling every moment with thoughts, distractions, and constant activity. It's easy to believe that we need to do more, think, more, act, more to solve our problems. But in truth, the answers are often already inside of us. We don't need to seek them outside. We need to quiet the noise within and listen. Listen to the deeper wisdom that exists within our own being. Silence allows us to hear the messages from our soul. It helps us tune into the present moment, to the now, instead of getting lost in the past or consumed by the future. The more we practice embracing silence, the more we align with the natural flow of life. We stop forcing things and we start allowing things to unfold. We stop resisting and we start flowing with life's current. Let's take one final moment together. Close your eyes again. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, feel the silence wrap around you like a warm blanket. In this moment, there's no pressure, no rush, no noise, just stillness. Let yourself sink into that stillness, knowing that in this moment, you are exactly where you need to be. In this silence, you are at peace. Remember, the noise of the world is always going to be there, but you have the power to choose how you respond to it. When life gets overwhelming, when the noise feels too loud, don't forget to take a step back and listen. The universe speaks in whispers, in stillness. It's in the silence that we find our deepest wisdom. So when you need guidance, when you need clarity, don't just seek more information. Seek silence. Allow the noise to fade, and the answers will come. For trusting timing, the art of patience. In a world that thrives on instant gratification, where everything seems to be available at the push of a button, whether it's food, entertainment, or even answers to our deepest questions, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that we should have everything we want right now. We live in an age where waiting feels like a burden. Success, love, happiness, they all seem like things that should be achieved at the speed of light. We want to feel fulfilled, beloved, and accomplished, and we want to feel that way immediately. But here's the cold, hard truth. Life doesn't work on our timeline. No matter how much we push, no matter how much we desire, life has its own rhythm, its own pace, its own perfect timing. The universe is not on the same schedule that we are. It does not bow to our desire for instant results. And that is okay. In fact, it's not only okay, but it's a beautiful thing. It's one of the most profound lessons we can learn, that things will happen when they are meant to happen. This isn't about passive waiting. It's about embracing a deeper sense of trust. Trust in the process. Trust that everything is unfolding as it should, that even when you can't see it, even when it feels like you're standing still. Buddhism offers us a gentle reminder that everything unfolds in its own time. The seeds you plant today will not sprout tomorrow. A flower does not rush to bloom. It takes its time growing from a small seed into something beautiful without being hurried, without being rushed. It knows that in the process of growth, there is purpose. The same principle applies to us. Think about nature for a moment. Look at how trees grow. You don't see a tree struggling to become taller overnight. It grows slowly, steadily. The earth supports it. Rain falls, the sun shines, and in perfect alignment, the tree reaches toward the sky. The tree doesn't worry about how long it will take to grow. It trusts that it will grow in its own time. The same is true for you. When you trust the timing of life, you release the anxiety of waiting. You stop looking at the clock every minute, wondering when things will happen. You stop checking your phone for messages or notifications, waiting for someone or something to tell you that it's time. Instead, you allow yourself to relax, to sink into the rhythm of life, knowing that every step you take is a part of the larger journey that is unfolding for you. This doesn't mean that things are happening too slowly. It means that the universe is working behind the scenes, arranging everything in your life to align in the best possible way. Just because something isn't happening right now doesn't mean it won't happen. The universe has its own rhythm, and when you trust that rhythm, you'll start to see how things fall into place at the perfect moment. Have you ever thought about how plants grow? You plant a seed in the ground, and at first, nothing happens. You water it, you wait. You wonder if it will ever grow, if it's too late, if something went wrong. But one day, just when you least expect it, the tiny shoot begins to poke through the soil, and it grows. Slowly at first, but with patience, it becomes something beautiful, something strong. Life too has its seasons. It's easy to get discouraged when you don't see immediate results. It's easy to feel like you're putting in all this effort and nothing is happening. But just like that seed you're growing, even if it's not visible yet, you're gathering the strength, the knowledge, the experience, and the lessons you need to be the person you're meant to be. The key here is patience, not a passive sit around and wait kind of patience, but an active patience. The kind that comes from knowing that no matter how much time passes, the universe is working for you. It's about embracing the present moment, not living in the future or clinging to the past, but allowing life to unfold naturally. Let's do a small exercise together to reflect on this concept. Take a moment. Pause what you're doing. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Feel the air filling your lungs, then slowly release it, letting go of any tension you might be carrying. Now think of something you're waiting for. Maybe it's a goal, a dream, or even just an answer you've been longing to hear. Perhaps it's a job, a relationship, or personal growth that you've been striving for. Notice your feelings. Are you impatient? Anxious? Do you feel a tightness in your chest? That feeling comes from resisting the natural flow of life. Now take another deep breath and imagine releasing that tension. Picture yourself sinking into the rhythm of the universe, trusting that everything is unfolding in its perfect time. You are exactly where you need to be. Doesn't that feel different? In that moment, you've just shifted from resistance to trust. You've embraced the fact that though you might not have everything you want at this very second, everything is moving in the right direction. You are not stuck. You are in a process. And in time, you will bloom. Let's talk about how this works in real life. Think about Sarah, a woman who spent years trying to make her career happen. She pushed herself endlessly, feeling like if she didn't keep climbing, she would fall behind. She sacrificed her happiness, her peace, even her health, to keep pushing forward, trying to force her success. Yet despite all her efforts, she kept encountering obstacles. Every time she reached one goal, another wall seemed to rise up in front of her. Frustrated and burned out, Sarah reached a breaking point. It was at that moment when she had nothing left to give that she decided to let go. She stopped trying to control every detail. She began to trust that the right opportunities would come to her in the right time. Sarah started to focus on her well-being, on her personal life, and her creative passions. And just when she least expected it, the perfect job opportunity came into her life. It wasn't something she had been chasing. It was something that had been waiting for her. The universe had been working behind the scenes, aligning everything to bring her what she truly needed, but it wasn't until she stopped forcing things that the universe could deliver. When Sarah trusted the timing of her life, everything began to flow with ease. The lesson here is clear patience is not about waiting for life to happen to you. It's about trusting that life is already happening for you, even when you can't see it. It's about having faith that the timing of your journey is unfolding in the best way possible, even if it doesn't match your expectations. Take a moment now. Think of the last time you felt impatient, frustrated with how long it was taking for something to materialize in your life. What if you could release that impatience? What if you could trust that you are not stuck, but simply in a waiting period that's full of growth, wisdom, and preparation? Trust the timing. Release the pressure. Know that everything you desire is already on its way, and your patience is simply allowing the universe to align the perfect circumstances for you. In a world that thrives on instant results, the idea of trusting timing can feel difficult. But true peace comes not from rushing to the finish line, but from embracing the journey. From trusting that the universe knows when the right moment is. Like nature, life doesn't hurry, but it never fails to deliver what it promises. Remember, the flower blooms when it's meant to, not a moment sooner. And just like that flower, you are growing at the perfect pace. Trust in the process. Trust that what is meant for you will find its way to you in perfect time. Let go of the need to force things. Relax, breathe, and allow yourself to enjoy the journey. You are exactly where you need to be. The universe has a plan for you, and it's unfolding in the most perfect way possible. When you trust the timing, you unlock the flow of life. Patience isn't just waiting. It's an active belief that all things are happening as they should. Embrace the rhythm of life. Trust that everything will come to you at the perfect moment. 5. Believing you deserve what you desire. There's a powerful truth that can change everything for you. You attract what you believe you deserve. I want you to take a moment and let that sink in. It's a transformative concept that many of us overlook. So often we chase after success, love, happiness, and peace, desperately trying to reach them, believing that we need to work harder, hustle more, or prove ourselves worthy. Yet the most profound truth is that the universe responds to what we believe we are worthy of. When you truly believe that you deserve the best that life has to offer, the universe will begin to reflect that belief right back to you. But when you doubt your worth, when you feel that you aren't good enough, or that certain things are out of your reach, you block the very flow of abundance that is constantly flowing toward you. Think about that for a moment. How often do you hold back from pursuing what you truly want? Because deep down, you feel you don't deserve it. Maybe it's a promotion you've been wanting at work, a healthy relationship, financial freedom, or peace of mind. How often do you tell yourself, I'm not good enough for this? Or maybe I'm not cut out for success? These thoughts aren't just passing doubts. They are a reflection of your inner beliefs about your worth, and those beliefs shape your reality. Buddhism teaches us that our beliefs create our experiences. When we recognize our worth, when we believe we deserve peace, love, success, and happiness, we align ourselves with the very things we desire. It's not just a hopeful wish, it's a profound shift in perspective. When you believe you deserve the best, you become a magnet for the opportunities, relationships, and blessings that align with that belief. But here's the challenge. We are often our own harshest critics. The voices in our heads tell us we're not good enough, not smart enough, not deserving enough. We've been conditioned to question ourselves, to doubt our abilities, and to shy away from the very things that could elevate our lives. But the truth is, these doubts are not your reality. They are simply the noise of your mind, and they can be quieted when you recognize your intrinsic worth, the power of believing in your own worth. Think about this. How often do you criticize yourself? How often do you second-guess your worth? Dismiss your own achievements or feel unworthy of the dreams you hold in your heart? You might tell yourself, I don't deserve that job, I don't deserve that kind of love, or I'm not worthy of peace. But what if instead of doubting yourself, you started believing in your worth? I want you to imagine this shift. Picture yourself walking through life, radiating confidence, fully aware of the amazing person you are and the potential you carry. Imagine you're that person who moves with ease through challenges, knowing that the very best is always on its way to you. When you believe in your worth, you no longer chase success or love, because you know that what you deserve is already making its way to you. This belief isn't about arrogance or entitlement. It's about recognizing your value as a person and understanding that you are deserving of all the good things in life just as much as anyone else. When you see yourself as worthy of happiness, love, and success, you stop questioning whether you can achieve them. You start living in a way that reflects the abundance you know you deserve. Let's take a moment to think about someone you know who radiates confidence and self-assurance. Maybe it's a colleague, a friend, or even a family member. This person doesn't constantly doubt themselves. They move through the world with ease, and the energy they carry is magnetic. They walk into rooms with a quiet confidence, knowing that good things are always coming their way. Have you ever noticed how people like this seem to attract the very things they want? They don't push. They don't chase. They simply believe that the universe will bring them what they deserve. And it does. Now, what if you could begin to see yourself in the same light? What if you could fully recognize your own value and worth in the same way? What would happen if you started to believe that success, love, and abundance were not only possible for you, but were already meant for you? Let's try this. Take a moment right now and imagine that you are that person, the one who believes in their own worth completely. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and envision yourself walking confidently through life, knowing that everything you desire is within reach. Feel the empowerment of that belief. Let it fill you not with arrogance, but with an unwavering sense of self-love and acceptance. Now picture how your life would shift if you carried that belief every day. Would you make different choices? Would you approach challenges differently? Would you walk through the world with a sense of peace and purpose, knowing that your worth is not defined by others' opinions or judgments, but by your own belief in yourself? The shift from doubt to belief. For many of us, believing that we deserve success or love can feel like a monumental shift. Our minds may tell us we're not good enough, that there are people who are more qualified or more deserving than we are. But what if instead of feeding those doubts, you decided to flip the script? What if you decided to believe that you are deserving of everything you desire? Imagine the peace that would come from releasing the constant questioning of your worth. Imagine the freedom of no longer feeling unworthy or less than. The truth is, when you begin to believe you are worthy, everything in your life starts to shift. Your actions change, your relationships change, and the way you respond to challenges changes. When you believe you deserve success, you approach opportunities with confidence. You walk into meetings, interviews, or conversations, knowing that you are enough. You stop doubting your abilities. You stop waiting for permission. You start taking inspired action, knowing that the universe is already working on your behalf to bring you what you desire. The law of attraction, how your beliefs shape your reality. Here's the thing. The universe doesn't give you what you want because you've worked hard for it. It gives you what you believe you deserve. Think about it. How many times have you thought, I want this, but I don't deserve it, and watched as those desires slip away? Or how often have you thought, I know I deserve this? And the opportunities seem to open up effortlessly. The law of attraction works based on your internal beliefs. It's not just about wanting something. It's about believing you're worthy of it. The more you believe in your worth, the more the universe aligns with that belief and begins to reflect it back to you. Your inner dialogue, the way you speak to yourself, creates the reality you experience. If you constantly tell yourself you aren't good enough, the universe will mirror that belief by keeping those things you desire at a distance. But when you believe you deserve peace, success, love, fulfillment, the universe will start to manifest those things in your life. It's a subtle shift that can lead to profound change. When we move from a place of self-doubt to self-worth, we stop sabotaging our own success. We stop second-guessing our decisions, questioning our abilities, or hiding from opportunities that scare us. Instead, we begin to take action from a place of knowing that we are worthy. It's not about arrogance, it's about self-respect. It's about honoring the person you are and trusting that you are enough just as you are. You have unique gifts to offer the world. And when you believe in your worth, you give yourself permission to step into your power and create the life you deserve. The truth is simple. You are worthy of everything you desire. Success, love, peace, joy, they're all within your reach. Not because you've worked tirelessly for them, but because you believe you deserve them. And when you believe you deserve the very best, you stop chasing and start receiving. The next time doubt creeps in when you feel unworthy, unsure, or not good enough, remember this truth. You are worthy. You are deserving. You do not have to chase after what you want. You just have to believe that you are worthy of it, and the universe will respond by bringing it to you. So how will you begin to see yourself? How will you choose to believe in your own worth today? When you start recognizing your value, you open the doors to everything you've been waiting for. And that, my friend, is the beginning of a life well lived. 6. Calmness as manifestation. In a world that glorifies speed hustle and relentless effort, the idea that calmness could be one of the most powerful tools for manifestation may seem strange, even counterintuitive. We're told every day that we need to work harder, push more, and strive longer to achieve our goals. We're conditioned to believe that success only comes when we're burning the candle at both ends, constantly moving, constantly striving. And yet in all this rushing, we often find ourselves feeling overwhelmed, disconnected, and most painfully stuck. What if we could let go of the frantic energy? What if we could pause, breathe, and trust that in stillness we could create the space for our dreams to manifest? The truth is that calmness is the key to unlocking that space. Calmness isn't about inaction. It's about alignment. Calmness doesn't mean sitting back and waiting for things to happen while you do nothing. That's not what we're talking about here. Calmness is about alignment, aligning your energy, your thoughts, and your actions with the flow of life. It's about finding that sweet spot between action and surrender where you take inspired steps forward, but without pushing or forcing. It's the art of taking deliberate action with clarity, focus, and peace in your heart. Think about this. When you're calm, your mind is clear. You're not caught in the whirlwind of doubt, anxiety, or frustration. You're grounded, able to make decisions with purpose. Your intuition becomes sharper, your focus more precise. And when you're able to make decisions from a place of calmness, Those decisions are aligned with your highest good. You begin to attract the opportunities, the people, and the resources that you need, but not because you're desperately chasing them. You attract them because your energy is in harmony with your desires, and that harmony creates the space for everything to fall into place naturally. You stop forcing things and instead allow them to come to you in a way that feels effortless, that feels aligned. Let's take the example of Priya, a CEO of a rapidly growing tech company. Priya lives in the fast-paced world of business, where the pressure to make big decisions, meet targets, and manage people is constant. On paper, her job demands quick thinking and even quicker actions. Everyone around her is constantly moving, constantly rushing to get ahead. The expectation is that success only comes with grinding harder, making decisions at lightning speed, and always staying several steps ahead of the competition. But Priya doesn't play by those rules. She doesn't rush. She doesn't make decisions in a frenzy. Instead, she takes a moment to pause, breathe, and reflect before responding to the challenges that come her way. She listens to her intuition. She trusts herself. In moments of high stress, Priya finds a quiet space, even if it's just for a few minutes, to center herself. This time for reflection is not just about taking a break. It's about reconnecting with her core values and aligning her decisions with clarity. When she steps into a meeting, she is not overwhelmed by the chaos of competing voices or ideas. She is calm, focused, and intentional. And it's this calmness that allows her to make decisions from a place of wisdom, not stress. As a result, Priya's leadership style is transformational. Instead of micromanaging, she encourages her team to trust in the process and the timing of their work. Opportunities and partnerships don't feel forced. They naturally align with her company's vision because she's able to make decisions that are rooted in deep clarity and purposeful calm. The energy of her calm leadership spreads through the company, fostering a culture where success is not measured by constant hustle, but by thoughtful, focused action. In Buddhism, there's a concept known as right action, sammakamanta. Right action isn't about making hurried or impulsive decisions. It's about acting with clarity, intention, and wisdom. Priya exemplifies this perfectly. Her actions are grounded in stillness, in mindfulness. She is fully present in each moment, free from the mental noise that clouds judgment. And this allows her to make decisions that benefit both her company and herself. Buddhism teaches that when we align our actions with mindfulness, we act in harmony with the flow of life, just as Priya does. This is the key difference between acting out of stress and acting out of calmness. Right action comes from clarity and purpose, not from being driven by urgency or fear. So why is calmness such a superpower when it comes to manifestation? The key is in its ability to connect you to a deeper part of yourself, your intuition. When you are calm, you can hear your inner voice more clearly. You can sense the opportunities that are aligned with your purpose, and you can move toward them with confidence. But when you are in a state of frantic energy, constantly reacting to life's demands, you drown out that inner voice. You lose touch with your intuition, and instead of making decisions based on clarity, you make them based on fear or pressure. Think about it this way. When you're calm, you are in a state of presence. You're grounded in the here and now. You're not looking ahead, consumed by worry about the future, and you're not dwelling on the past. You are fully engaged in the present moment. And in that present moment, you make decisions that are aligned with your highest good. In that state of presence, you stop feeling like you have to control everything around you. You stop chasing after things. Instead, you attract them naturally because you're no longer operating from a place of lack or need. You're operating from a place of abundance and trust. Think about the flow of life. Life is like a river constantly moving and changing. But the more you fight against that flow, the more exhausted and frustrated you become. When you're calm, you align yourself with the flow of life. You're not paddling upstream, fighting the current. Instead, you're floating with it, allowing it to carry you where you need to go. When you're calm, you can discern which direction to go. You can see the obstacles ahead of you, but you're not overwhelmed by them. You have the clarity to navigate around them with ease. You stop fighting, and instead, you surrender to the flow. And when you surrender to the flow of life, you become a magnet for everything you want. Things come to you effortlessly because you've let go of the need to force them. This flow is the natural state of the universe. Everything is in motion, always moving toward greater alignment. When you are calm, you tap into that flow. You stop pushing against it, and instead you move with it, letting it guide you. It's no longer a battle, it's a dance. When we're calm, decision-making becomes a conscious act. Instead of reacting out of fear, we respond with clarity. Have you ever made a decision in the heat of the moment, perhaps out of frustration, panic, or anxiety, and later regretted it? This happens when we're not calm. Our emotions take over and we act without thinking. But when we're calm, we make decisions that are aligned with who we truly are. Think about the last time you made a calm decision. Perhaps it was a choice you made about your career, a relationship, or your finances. The difference between making a decision in a state of calm and making one in a state of anxiety is the difference between conscious creation and reactive survival. When you make decisions from a place of calmness, you align with your highest self. You make choices that are not just good for the moment, but that will benefit you in the long run. Calmness allows you to see the bigger picture and to trust yourself to make the right choice. So here's the simple truth. Calmness is the key to manifestation. It's not about forcing things to happen. It's about allowing them to happen. It's about stepping back and trusting that the universe is working with you, not against you. It's about knowing that what is meant for you will come to you at the right time, in the right way. When you are calm, you are in the perfect state to receive. You're not holding on to things too tightly. You're not desperate or anxious. You're in a state of trust, and that trust opens the door to everything you desire. Calmness is not about sitting passively. It's about acting with intention, clarity, and focus, knowing that your energy is aligned with the universe's plan. Calmness doesn't mean doing nothing. It means acting from a place of trust, clarity, and alignment. It means knowing that life is happening for you, not to you. When you embrace calmness, you open yourself to the flow of life and become a magnet for everything you desire. So let go of the hustle, let go of the pressure, let calmness guide you, and watch as your life transforms. The universe is already working for you. Allow it to deliver. 7. Letting go to make space for miracles. Here's the most powerful lesson you'll ever learn in life. Letting go creates space for miracles. I know it may sound counterintuitive, We live in a world that pushes us to chase, strive, and work harder to achieve our dreams. We are told to pursue success with all our energy, to grab hold of what we want, to push ourselves to the limit until we attain everything we desire. But what if I told you that the very act of letting go, of releasing the need to chase and control, creates the space for the universe to work its magic? Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It's not about surrendering your dreams or resigning yourself to a life of mediocrity. Letting go is not about quitting. It's about releasing. Releasing the tight grip you have on how you think things should unfold. It's about trusting the process, trusting the timing of your life, and believing that the universe has a greater plan for you than you could ever imagine. Letting go means trusting that life is unfolding as it should, even when you can't see the entire picture yet. This isn't just a small shift in how you think. It's a mindset transformation, a deep understanding that life isn't something to be wrestled with or forced into submission. Life is a dance, not a battle. To experience the fullness of what's available to us, we must learn to trust and let go. The power of trusting the process. This idea may be powerful, but it's also challenging because it goes against everything we've been taught. We live in a society that tells us to control everything. We're taught to make plans, set goals, and take relentless action to bring those plans to life. These principles are valuable, but there's one piece of the puzzle that is often overlooked: trust. Think about it. What would it feel like to trust that everything you desire is already on its way to you? That you don't need to chase it, don't need to force it, and don't need to worry about when it will arrive. Imagine what would happen if you released the anxiety, tension, and constant worry you feel about the future, and instead simply allowed yourself to trust the process of life. The truth is, the more you try to control everything, the more you block the flow of energy that could be bringing you what you want. You're constantly holding on to an idea of how things should look, and by doing so, you limit the infinite possibilities the universe has for you. You close yourself off from new opportunities, growth, and even the miracles that are patiently waiting to enter your life. By letting go, you open yourself to a deeper, more expansive experience. You create space for the unexpected, for the miracles that the universe is waiting to deliver. But in order for that to happen, you must let go of the need to control the outcome. Letting go is not a passive act. It isn't about sitting around and waiting for things to happen. It's not about surrendering in the way we often think, where we do nothing and hope for change. Letting go is about shifting your mindset from scarcity and fear to abundance and trust. You're not giving up on your dreams when you let go. On the contrary, you're releasing the need to dictate exactly how those dreams should manifest. When we hold on too tightly to the vision of how we want things to unfold, we limit ourselves. We prevent new opportunities from entering our lives because we're so focused on what we think we need when we think we need it and how it should look. We become so entrenched in our idea of the perfect outcome that we cut ourselves off from the flow of life. Letting go is about creating space, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. It's about giving yourself permission to release your attachment to specific outcomes and to allow the universe to take care of the details. It's about trusting that when the timing is right, everything will unfold perfectly, even if it doesn't look exactly as you imagined. Let me share a beautiful example from nature that perfectly illustrates the power of letting go. Think about a gardener planting a seed. The gardener doesn't dig up the seed every day to check if it's growing. The gardener doesn't hover over it, constantly adjusting the soil or trying to force the seed to sprout. Instead, the gardener plants the seed, waters it, and then trusts that in time it will grow. The gardener understands that the seed has everything it needs within it to become a healthy, flourishing plant, but it requires patience, time, and the right conditions. The gardener lets go of control over the growth process, trusting that nature will take its course. Life is no different. When you release your expectations and trust the process, you create space for something even more beautiful to emerge than what you could have planned for yourself. The gardener doesn't obsess over how quickly the seed grows or how it looks at every stage. The gardener simply trusts in the natural rhythm of life, knowing that as long as the right conditions are provided, the seed will grow in its own time. I know that the concept of letting go might feel scary. Letting go can be terrifying because we've been taught since childhood that success comes from effort planning and constant action. Letting go can feel like giving up, like surrendering to something beyond our control. But letting go isn't about giving up on your dreams. It's about trusting that your dreams are already on their way and that you don't need to force the universe to deliver them. In fact, the more you let go, the more you actually open yourself to the miracles waiting for you. Miracles don't happen when we force them. They happen when we release our attachment to how they should appear. When we trust that the universe has a greater plan for us than we could ever have imagined, the miracles begin to unfold. Think about it. When you stop forcing things to happen, you create space for life to surprise you. You allow room for opportunities that you might never have expected, people you might never have planned to meet, and events that align with your desires in the most beautiful and unexpected ways. Life becomes a dance, and the universe is your partner. It's a paradox, isn't it? The more we try to control, the more we block the flow of what we desire. But when we let go, we allow things to come to us often more easily and beautifully than we could have ever forced them to. Letting go creates space for opportunities to flow toward you, space for the universe to work on your behalf, to align people and circumstances in ways you couldn't possibly have planned for. When you let go, you're not just letting go of control, you're releasing the resistance that has kept you stuck in the same patterns. And in that release, you create the space for everything you desire to flow effortlessly into your life. What happens when you let go? When you let go of the need to control, you begin to trust the process. You start to relax into the flow of life, knowing that everything you need is already on its way to you. You stop forcing things to happen and start allowing them to unfold naturally. Imagine the freedom in that. No more rushing, no more pushing, no more forcing. Letting go frees you from the burden of anxiety about when things will happen or how they will look. You stop waiting for the perfect moment, and instead you embrace the flow of life as it unfolds, trusting that everything you need will come at exactly the right time. This shift is profound, because it allows you to live from a place of abundance, not scarcity. When you stop forcing things, you start allowing them to come to you. When you release control, you create space. And in that space, that beautiful open space, miracles can unfold. Surrendering doesn't mean weakness. It's not about giving up. It's about relinquishing the need to control. It's about recognizing that life has its own rhythm, and when we align with it, everything falls into place. Surrender is about releasing what no longer serves you and trusting that something greater is being created. The miracle of surrendering is that you begin to experience life in its fullness. You begin to trust that everything is happening for you, not to you. And when you trust in the process, you start to see the beauty in every moment, in every challenge, and even in every setback. You realize that these moments are not obstacles. They are part of the greater unfolding of your life. So how do you let go? How do you release the need to control and create space for miracles? The first step is to trust that the universe is working for you, not against you. Trust that everything you desire is already on its way to you. And the second step is to release the anxiety, release the need to force, release the attachment to how things should look or when they should happen. When you let go, you create space for miracles, unexpected blessings, opportunities and experiences that align perfectly with your dreams. Letting go is not giving up. It's making room for the life you've always wanted. Remember, just like the gardener who trusts the seed to grow, you must trust yourself and the process. Life has a rhythm, and when you release control, you align with it. Trust, release, and watch the miracles unfold. As we come to the close of this transformative journey, I want you to take a deep breath and let these words settle into your heart. The path to peace. Success and fulfillment is not through control or force, but through letting go. In a world that pushes us to chase, strive, and hustle constantly, it may seem almost impossible to imagine that the key to unlocking everything we desire is not in doing more, but in doing less. Letting go, trusting and aligning ourselves with the natural flow of life. This is the true essence of manifestation. When you align your vibration with abundance, when you shift from fear to trust, from anxiety to peace, you begin to attract everything you need. Success, love, and fulfillment do not come from overwhelming effort or trying to control every detail. They come when you release resistance, when you let go of the need to micromanage your path, and instead trust that the universe is already bringing the right opportunities, the right people, and the right circumstances into your life. But this is not just about waiting for things to happen passively. This is about trusting the timing of the universe, knowing that the right things will arrive at the perfect moment. We often feel impatient looking ahead, thinking that the moment for our desires to manifest should already be here. But true peace comes when we embrace the quiet certainty that everything unfolds exactly as it should. Patience, my friend, is a powerful ally. It is a reminder that life is not a race, it is a process. And in this process we are given the gift of silence, a space of stillness where wisdom arises, where our true selves are revealed. It is in the quiet moments that we reconnect with our deepest desires, realign our intentions, and understand our path more clearly. Silence is not emptiness. It is a wellspring of clarity. It is where we find the answers we've been searching for. As you move forward, remember this: you are deserving of everything you desire. You do not need to chase success, love, or happiness. They are already on their way to you. When you believe in your worth, and release the attachment to the outcome, you allow the universe to work on your behalf, bringing you exactly what you need in exactly the right time. You deserve the best that life has to offer simply because you are worthy of it. The ultimate takeaway from this journey is simple yet profound. Everything you need is already on its way. Trust the process. Let go of the need to control and embrace the flow of life. Release the resistance, embrace patience, and let go of any anxiety about how or when things will manifest. By trusting the timing of the universe, believing in your own worth, and embracing the silence of your inner wisdom, you unlock the flow of life, and that flow will bring everything you desire effortlessly into your life. Trust in the process. Let go of the need to control and allow the universe to deliver what you truly deserve. Everything you want is already coming. All you need to do is make space for it. Let go and watch as the miracles unfold before you.